Yo, Quack Shack. Oh, nah, that was cringe. That was bad. That was actually bad. You guys gotta let me know in the comments what I should call you guys, because that was actually horrible. But I just wanted to give you guys a huge and giant thank you for 10,000 subscribers. I know this is long awaited, but 10,000 subscribers means the world to me. I would have never even imagined having 10K subs. I hope you guys have been enjoying all the content I've been putting out for you guys just as much as I enjoy working on it. If this video is some of your guys' introduction to me, yo, my name is quacklylol. I've been playing Mr. Fantastic since he first released in Season 1, and I've been ranked 1 on the leaderboard multiple times, including at the time of this recording on Rivals Meta. I just want to again give a huge thank you to everybody who's already subscribed. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It just helps a lot, and it also gets my content out there. My Discord is in the description if you guys want to join for events like Mr. Fantastic 1v1 tournaments or any new Mr. Fantastic tech any of my viewers or I find. And if you want to just discuss anything Rivals related, that's just the place to be. Genuinely, content creation has been my dream since I was a child, so I actually just appreciate all you guys for even watching the content. Whether you hate me or love me, it just means the world to me. So thank you all, and I hope you guys enjoy this guide. Let's get into it. In this guide, we're going to be going over a couple of things, but I want to keep it short and sweet because I don't want to make this like a 50-minute video. But we're going to be going over all of his abilities and little tips within all of his abilities. We're going to be telling you guys his job as a character, and we're going to show some gameplay at the end. Although a lot of people see him as a tank, he's actually a DPS character. And this guide is going to show you guys why he shouldn't be seen as a second tank, a pseudo tank, or whatever people want to categorize him as, because he was made to be a DPS, and he is a DPS. To go straight to the point, the first thing we'll be going over is his abilities, starting off with his primary attack. His left click is a punch that deals 65 damage and can hit multiple targets if you move your camera correctly. This game is kinda trash, which causes the ability to no-reg a lot if you move your camera too fast, but it's still one of your main attacks that you're gonna use at all times. You can't headshot with this ability, and there's infinite ammo in it, but you gain 8 elasticity every single time you attack with this ability. Something that I don't see a lot of people using is the fact that you can somewhat jiggle peek and hit an enemy without them seeing you using this ability, which allows you to play the neutral game a bit safer because you won't get one shot by a Hawkeye or something. With the primary fire, if you punch a Groot wall or you punch a shield, you maintain your elasticity. You won't gain it, unlike Wolverine. But this is a good tip to know because you can keep yourself at 90 elasticity by just punching a shield or punching a Groot wall. With your left clicks, there's even times where you can 180 and get 2 kills in one. This probably isn't the best order to go in, but now I'll be talking about his passive. His passive is a meter that dictates when you're going to turn into that giant buff version of Mr. Fantastic that everybody calls Big Mode. Each one of his attacks give you a little bit of elasticity, his left click giving you 8, his right click giving 30, and his E giving 20. You can actually maintain a high amount of elasticity and not let it deplete by just right clicking the ground. By the time the cooldown comes back up, you'll be gaining instead of losing elasticity. Although his big mode gives you a lot more damage and health and survivability, it's low-key clickbait, and it makes you think you're Thanos when you're literally not. Since the extra HP you gain can't be healed by your supports, you'll just get instantly popped by high damage team comps anytime you overextend. The main use of his big mode is to kill any isolated targets in a 1v1 or to rack up damage in your own support ult to farm up your ult, or to just burst somebody down with your team's damage. Unlike when you cleave in mini mode, the big mode cleaves are way more responsive and you can shake your cursor way faster, and they tend to no-reg a lot less. His big mode is probably the main reason why people consider him an off tank or a pseudo tank, but that's not true at all. It can even be debated that his mini form gets way more value at times than his big form. If I'm being honest, 90% of the time I'm just attacking enemies in mini form because that'll farm up ult charge way safer, and I will have way more kill pressure on supports by just slapping them without them even noticing. One niche tip about his passive I don't see a lot of people abusing is the fact that you can stall the transform animation once you hit 100 elasticity. This allows you to get at least one ability out before being forced into that long ass animation of transforming. One thing that sucks about his passive is the fact that you will lose all the elasticity you built up when you pop your ult. I had to find this out through a lot of testing though. The next part I'm going to be going over in his kit is his right click / his grab. This ability is super interesting because when it first came out, I thought it was going to be a tool to pull people off the map, but it doesn't really do that much, and it doesn't really pull people off the map in a sense, but it's still a pretty good ability. As I mentioned before, the right click gives 30 elasticity. Another main part about this ability is the fact that it has a further range than your left click. When your right click attaches onto an enemy, you can either left click onto the same enemy to pull them into you, which also does more single target damage, or you can choose to pull two enemies into each other. One thing to keep in mind is that when you grab onto an enemy, it's kinda like in real life if you twist your arm the wrong way, since it's your right arm that's grabbing onto them. For more range of mobility, you should turn to the left if you want to have a wider range of motion with your camera. Another tip to keep in mind with the right click is that when the second arm comes out to grab onto the second target, it has way more range than the first arm, which has about 15 meters worth of range. One more thing to keep in mind is that your right click doesn't go on cooldown until the arm returns back to your body. So the best way to use your right click is to right click the ground if you want to use it as fast as possible. This tip is best used in scenarios where you need to turn into big mode as fast as possible so you can survive a little bit longer. One thing I think a lot of people don't really know is that you could pull Cloak out of her fade. The next ability I'll be going over is the shift, also known as the parry. This ability is almost always used incorrectly by newer misterfantastics, and people don't truly understand the importance of correct shift usage. Although yeah, it is one of the best tools in this kit to survive, it can also backfire most of the times if you misposition with it due to the fact that it lowers your movement speed and you still have very long animations. One thing that people don't know about at all is the fact that shift is treated as a shield in the game, so it can block enemies from healing each other, allies from Emma ult, and whatever else, for example, Doctor Strange's shield can block in the game. The second part of his Pop-Tart mode is the Tummy Spit, which deals a max 180 damage, which sucks, but it can be really good damage to catch enemies off guard for your team to burst with that damage. And this ability also no-regs a lot. One thing that they just recently added with the new Mr. Fantastic changes this season is the fact that you can ult out of your shift. One of my favorite ways to use shift is to incorporate the Invis Woman team up with my shift, so it allows my HP to regen while I'm in the parry mode. This animation cancel can be done by pressing your shift first and then your team up right after. So with my shift, what I usually like to do in the neutral game is I like to create space by Eing into the enemy team and then pressing shift and Invis Woman team up, so I can be getting overshield and be getting healed by my supports, and then I'll transform into big mode with 100 elasticity. You're also CC immune when you use this ability. The next ability I'll be going over is his E, or his flexible elongation. With his E, you can either E onto enemies or teammates, and I think a lot of people wonder if you should E onto enemies more or teammates more, but the answer is very situational and it depends on what the game is asking for. Keep in mind that your E gives your teammates shield as well whenever you E onto them. For instance, let's say an enemy team has a very dive heavy comp and you want to peel for your supports. You can give your teammates more survivability and peel for them by just Eing them twice or something. Remember, you have two charges of your E, so if you time it correctly, you can basically always have an E up. And this is your main mobility tool, so always have an E to escape. Although Mr. Fantastic has low mobility, his E makes up for it. You can E onto higher mobility characters and follow them, and you can E up to high places you wouldn't be able to get to alone. It also follows enemies wherever they go as well. One thing to keep in mind with the addition of the new slow and knockback buffs on the E is the fact that you can cleave your knockback similar to your punches. And although yeah, it's pretty niche, you can also knock enemies off the map with your E, but it's pretty rare, so don't depend on it too much. Now onto the most important part of his kit, his ultimate ability. With the new addition of the ult buffs, it allows way more freedom in his gameplay, whereas last season you would need to transform into big mode before ulting every single time. Now that you get the big mode shield when you ult, you have way more survivability and even kill potential because you can capitalize the instant you see a kill opportunity. Most people think his ult is useless because it does less damage than most DPS ults, but the fact that you have so much survivability in his ult will cause most supports to just pop their ult. But don't think you can just pop your ult at any time because you'll just get exploded. There will be times where just two healers can out-heal your whole entire ult, and the reason why is because you didn't do enough damage before popping ult. The old fundamental used to be to ult when you had the most overshield. Now, you can hard engage on enemies, let them destroy your overshield after getting as much damage as you can, then popping ult and hitting them with the center part of your ult, which deals more damage than the outer edge. That was the first example of how you should be ulting. The second example is if you have a dive heavy comp, you can lead the dive by doing a 3-2-1 comp in VC and making your divers dive with you as you bounce on it. The main thing you want to remember as you're playing this character is the fact that you can fulfill two roles. You can dive and counter dive. So this means before you ult, if you're the only one peeling your supports, make sure they can survive any kind of dive they need to deal with before popping your Q. Another great way to use your ult is when their last support ult is about to end. About 2 seconds before their support ult ends, their support is most likely overextended trying to heal their team. This allows you to get at least 2 bounces on them while they're ulting, which will slow them so they can't retreat to a safe spot to heal from. The way I've been using my ult a lot lately is as a tempo ult. Tempo meaning their team just finished respawning, so they're further from the part of the map that they need to be on. I'll ult while they're super far from points so they can pop a support ult that's worsely timed than our team's support ult since they had to walk a little extra distance. This kind of ult usually requires team coordination though. Although it's common knowledge, I'll still mention there's some parts on some maps that are great spots for Mr. Fantastic to ult on, since you can get faster bounces with low ceilings. So just remember that shift plus ult tech will allow you to wedge yourself into a great spot to get some insane ass bounces. There's 2 niche techs I found with Fantastic's ult that aren't as useful, but I'll still mention them. You can animation cancel Invis Woman team up in your ult, and you can bounce under Rocket's ult for super fast bounces. And I will say, there are times where you can kill through support ults, but that takes a lot of team coordination. And again, Mr. Fantastic still isn't widely accepted in the game. I'll now be going over positioning and playstyle. This part is going to have a lot of yapping, but it's genuinely the most important part. Mr. Fantastic's job as a character is basically to never die and do whatever job your team needs you to do because he's such a flexible champion. For playstyle 1, this is a more neutral playstyle. This is if you have no dive characters and they have no dive characters. You'll play to hit tanks and any isolated targets and farm up your ult so you can combo ult or bait support ults. Sometimes good grabs can help win the neutral game, or a good shift shot or good big mode cleaves that catch enemies off guard. Your main goal in this playstyle is to not die. If you play good in this playstyle, you'll be one of the first people to farm their DPS ults. For the second playstyle, this is the hard peel. This is if they have a heavy dive comp and you want to peel your supports from them. You want to backshot your supports as much as possible and play in mini form for higher kill pressure on the enemy divers. Characters like Black Panther are genuinely hard to miss a shot on with this character since the left click is so easy to hit. Now for the third playstyle, Dive Mr. Fantastic. This playstyle will probably farm you the most wins if you have 2 other divers, since Mr. Fantastic thrives most off of being somewhat of an attachment to what your team needs. Usually you can't dive alone, but with 2 others you can easily wipe a team with a simple 3-2-1 comm. But you still don't want to forget that your support's safety comes first, and if they have an enemy Psylocke or something, you need to get rid of them first and then use your E to dive fast with your teammates. When the support ult cycle starts, you want to be farming up your ult in your support ult and start transitioning your way into their backline so you can be in a good position to either ult or just finish them off with your team. And although this is probably basic knowledge, just remember, the best time to capitalize on this character is when you're up a player. So after a pick, try your hardest to start applying some kill pressure depending on who on the enemy team just died. I don't really have a game that can capture every playstyle in one, but I'll just put one of my recent games here for you guys to see some of the fundamentals put into play, and I'll point them out when seen. If you guys have any questions or just want to see more gameplay like this, I'll be live on Twitch and YouTube so you guys can come watch high-level Mr. Fantastic gameplay and everything that was shown in this guide put into play. I mean, like, bro, like, once I...
They're probably at Psylocke.
At this moment, I noticed that they were on Psylocke, so I got out of my big mode instantly so I could go peel my supports with ease. Where is it? Psylocke? Psylocke on site. Wolf one. Wolf legit one. Walk on, walk on. Recap, we recap. Back one. Go back. Look at Emma's yeah, easy.
Nah, fuck you, buddy. Nah, I'll never save your life again, bro. Nah, it's cool. Nah, it's whatever. Oh,
whoa. Oh my god.
This location is worth observing.
Ease up.
For real, bro. Literally. I've located an enemy.
Oh, daddy, no. Run.
I'm nowhere near my friend, by the way.
I love Jeff because I just got hella move. I'm gonna in this room. It's gonna bait. Go. Nice. I need to get out. Please save me. It's gone. Wait. Oh, daddy, no. Dead. What the fuck?
Push. You don't. Only heal you. I'm only healing you. Good job. Learn how to heal the carry. I like that.
Right there, I was able to play really aggressively because I knew my supports would be able to survive by themselves, and my team was also playing really aggressively as well with me. Our Psylocke just got legit down. Chad, did you guys just see that?
Got the aerial support from the
Feeling
room.
fantastic.
You know you have a jetpack, bro, right?
Oh, God, bro, gotta fly up. Jetpack's alright.
Whoa, 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 fantastic! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
GG's alright, there again. Got it out! No, what happened to this?
Oh my god. That's a shitty ass invisible, no?
I'm back! Yeah, I didn't aim it.
Ball, 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 ball. No, my asshole.
The numbers aren't in our favor.
Bubbles on the point! Bubbles on the point! I got you!
Thank you, bro. Holy sh.
I've located an enemy.
Go supports.
I have. Oh, no, go, go, go. Hold on.
I'm only healing you.
Good boy. That ult went well because my team walked with it and did damage to the people I was bouncing on, which made it easier for me to get kills.
I've spotted one of our adversaries.
And he doesn't, or he swaps off of Fantastic and plays Iron Fist, so, I mean, it's just like, I don't know, bro. Get active. So from last round, I knew my rocket was at about 90% ult charge, so that means I don't really have to protect him as much since we already have an Emma to protect him. So that allows me to play very aggressively and just look for a flank angle where I can get as much damage as I can to farm ult. Whoa, what the?
What?
He's actually bouncing.
Wait, Vision killed everything, bro. What?
Shout out Banks.
Man, bro.
Right there, you can see a prime example of how Mr. Fantastic can destroy any character who's out of position in the neutral game. Especially flyers, because they don't expect his damage since he's categorized as a melee character. So yo, thank you so much, Forky. I'm about to- Oh my god! Holy shit! Wait, is this the MRC finals? Wait, this gotta be the MRC finals. What is happening?
Wait, what? Yo, I never seen that.
Well, I'm gonna boop him up top. I'm gonna boop him. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
Get him out, bro. Get him out.
Wait, you ready? Watch this combo.
Get him, bro. Get him, bro.
What?
I didn't get a jet full. That's how we ended, bro. I'm not jet full. Give me a second.
Oh, we got a Mr. Fantastic. Hello?
No.
Rocket dude.
Iron Man. You see, I could have dodged that ult, right? But I knew you would have died, so I get Riz back. I don't play for KD like Dooms, bro. But that's how I play, bro. No KD play.
Oh, wait, somebody's gifting a sub per final blow? Oh my god, wait, hold on. I just want to again for the third time say thank you guys for 10k subs. Sorry for taking so long to drop this guide. I just want to put out good content for you guys, and I'm always about quality over quantity. I'm grateful and blessed to have you guys watching and enjoying my content, and if any of you sneeze during this video, God bless you, and please sub up for more content. Peace.